Today, I'm sharing how to transform extremely inexpensive Goodwill finds from unwanted items into highly desirable decor. Hey there, my name is Sandra, and you're watching The Schwowin's Nest. This pair of adorable bunnies were $5.49 at the Goodwill. One of them has lost some of its ear, so using air dry clay, I'm going to shape a piece and glue it on. Once it's completely dry and secure, these bunnies are going to get a glow up using vintage brass metallic paint. This paint is very bright. I just purchased it from Michael's, and although the color says vintage brass, I assumed that it would be more of a muted brass color. It's really yellow and shiny. So, of course, I have a plan to make it look more vintage. These little shelves were $2.49 for the pair, and even though they are meant to be hung on a wall, I immediately saw bookends. I'm going to remove the hardware, fill in the space with spackle, and then give them a good cleaning and a couple of coats of black spray paint to brighten them up. I'm going to use this part of the shelves as the bottom of the bookends, so you don't notice that. And then I had an idea to cover the bottoms with craft paper so you can't see the original hardware. Let me know if that's something that I should do. The shelves are spray painted and they look much nicer now. For the bunnies, I'm going to use black acrylic paint and a damp paper towel to dab and rub onto the metallic so it gets a little more muted. Next time I use this paint, I'm going to add a little bit of baking soda to give it some grit. This is a really slippery paint, and when I tried to use the antiquing wax, it just slid right off. The antiquing wax will make it look even more vintage, and I really like that look of more of a textured finish anyway. But I still love how these bunnies turned out. The best combination for a permanent hold for your projects is Weld Bond glue and hot glue. I have been using Weld Bond glue for about 5 years, and it has never let me down. I've used it on glass, ceramic, wood, plastic, metal, and even fabric. If you want to try it out, I've got it up on my Amazon store. If you've noticed a difference in the shine on the bookends, I had to go over the spray paint with a black chalk paint. I don't know why, but the spray paint just wasn't drying. It was very tacky and was leaving fingerprints all over it. So I left the portion where the bunny will sit just with the spray paint, and then I'll touch it up after the bunny is glued down. I am in love with these bookends. For under $8, I was able to transform these unwanted Goodwill items into highly desirable decor pieces. This glass piece is so pretty. It has roses and fleur-de-lis patterns on the outside, and it was only $3.79. Initially, I spray painted the bowl black, but it was the same can as the bookends, and the paint came right off when I picked it up. Sometimes you can save time with spray paint, and other times it makes you work harder. I'm giving the bowl one good coat of silk mineral paint from DIXIE BELLE in the color Anchor, and then I'll let that completely dry. I think I'm going to have to get rid of that spray paint can. Using a small chip brush, I'm adding bronze gilding wax all over the bowl, and it's bringing out all the details of the flowers and the fleur-de-lis. It's exactly what I was hoping for. Such a simple way to upcycle an unwanted item and make it a high-end piece for about $4. The gilding wax is from Dixie Belle, and I have links for both Canada and the US in my description box. I just love all the colors they have in chalk and mineral paints, as well as their accent products like this wax. If you haven't tried them out, take a look on the website and see what they've got. You could use a bowl like this for keys at the front door, just for decor on a console table, or even in your bedroom to hold your jewelry. When I saw this frame with the raised floral accents at the top, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I'm using a taupe color and adding plaster of Paris to it so I can create a stone texture on the frame. I've done this technique on vases and bowls, but never a frame, and it turns out beautiful. It was $4.99, a bit pricey, but at the end, I knew it was worth it. Plaster of Paris soaks up the paint pretty fast, so keep a water bottle close by to loosen it up once in a while. I always use this stippling brush to create even more texture by pouncing the paint mixture onto the frame. I did 2 coats and made sure I got the sides as well. It took a while for this to dry because of all the chunks in it, but when it was, I used a damp paper towel and the color Hampton Olive by Dixie Belle to add some varying tones to the frame. Some of the areas were darker than others, but that gives it a more natural effect, which is what I wanted. When you see a frame that has this type of embellishment on it at the thrift store, it's a great piece to make over, so grab it quick. I switched over to my little chip brush for the flowers so I could get some paint into the cracks and crevices to bring out the details even more. And here's another unwanted item from the Goodwill that turned into a beautiful high-end decor piece. I have been looking for a turtle trinket dish for a few months, and I finally hit the jackpot with this little guy. He was $3.79, which I thought was a bit too expensive, but I couldn't leave him behind. I'm using Dixie Belle Copper Patina paint, which is meant to be used with the patina sprays, but at this point I hadn't decided if I wanted to age him or not. To give him a little texture too, I used a sponge brush and dabbed it on. This technique required 2 coats, especially to get into all of the grooves he has. So now I decided to get some patina on him. Using a small brush, I like to dab it onto the areas where I want the aging to show up. You can spray it, but I have found that it's a big spray and would most likely completely cover a small project like this. There are 2 colors, blue and green. I like the blue best because it makes a more realistic old copper effect. Once the patina spray is dry, it will magically turn into a beautiful bluish green color that looks exactly like aged copper. My next project is this large flat shaped vase that was only $1.49. I guess someone thought it was really ugly, but I saw past the colors and knew it could be gorgeous. Fusion Mineral Paint is a primer, chalk mineral paint, and top coat all in one, which was the best choice for this vase since it has 2 different finishes on it. The color is called Casement, which is one of their white tones. When this was dry, I added some baking soda to the same color paint for texture. There was a line where the gold and stone look met, so that needed to be camouflaged. I did this by using a crisscross pattern with the brush, which gave some areas more paint than others. I also did two coats to ensure that everything was covered and added more brush strokes to any areas that didn't have enough. I am so happy with how this turned out, and I'm definitely going to use this paint technique on some future projects too. I'm leaving this one pure white without any aging on it, but I think adding some antiquing wax or dry brushing another color on it to bring out the details would look stunning too. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried any different textures just using a paintbrush to get this type of effect, or maybe something completely different. I'd love to know, and maybe I'll be able to use them in my future projects. Here's another inexpensive Goodwill find that was only $3.99, and it has some beautiful details on it too. This is the kind of stuff I look for at thrift shops because I know they'll look amazing when upcycled. I love the color of it, but it did have a small crack on one of the sides, so it needed a makeover to hide that. Using another Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint, this color is called Spanish Moss. It's a soft brown shade with green undertones, and this is the first time I'm using it. I really love it, so you're going to be seeing me use this more often because this color is so pretty in person. Once it was dry, I mixed up some milk paint, which is in powder form, and all you do is add some water. This color is Acadia and it is from Homestead House, but I got it on the Fusion website. It's a muted green shade that will be perfect on top of the Spanish moss. If you've ever used milk paint from different makers, you've probably noticed that some of them crackle differently than others. I've used Fusion milk paint and Homestead House, and I find that Fusion crackles a little bit more than this one, but they both give wonderful results. I've noticed that the thicker the milk paint is, the thicker the cracks will be. My paint here is a bit on the thin side, but I didn't want to add more powder. You can also let it sit for a while and it will thicken up too. If you mix up too much, you can cover it with plastic wrap and it will last a few days like that. I've even put my cup covered with plastic wrap in a tall mason jar with the lid tightly closed, and it has lasted even longer. You can dry milk paint with a heat gun or blow dryer to speed up the crackle process. I just love watching it appear. After the second coat had dried, I applied one good coat of Minwax polyacrylic to seal in the paint so it wouldn't rub off. I'm so glad I used both of these colors together. This planter turned out simply fantastic. Another item I have been looking for is a tiny lamp that I can use on my kitchen counter. This one was only $4.59 at Goodwill. I love the shape of it and the shade, but the colors aren't really the look I want. I'm taping off the top and the cord so I don't have to be too careful when I paint in those areas. The color I chose for the base of the lamp is Apothecary by Fusion. It's a beautiful green color. Using a sponge brush to get some texture again, it will get two coats. For now, I chose to leave it only this color. I can't decide if I want to add some additional colors to give it a little bit more texture and more of a stone look, or maybe just some antique wax to darken it up and make it look aged. Let me know your thoughts. Should I add some more colors to it, darken it with some antique wax, or leave it as is? For the shade, I am using this linen fabric that looks like Dropcloth. Misting it first before ironing gets all the wrinkles out, and using hot glue to add it to the original shade is all that is needed. I just love this little mini craft iron. It comes in so handy when I'm doing projects like this. I've got a couple of them listed in my Amazon store if you want to take a look and get one for yourself. I measured how much I would need just using the shade as a guide, and I'm going to cut the top and bottom a bit narrower as well, making sure to get as straight a line as possible. First, I'll glue one edge to the seam of the shade, then fold over the other edge to make a clean seam to glue on top of the first one. I trimmed even more of the excess fabric on the top and the bottom so I wouldn't have too much folded over on the inside of the shade. Working in sections, I added the glue, then folded it tightly over the edge of the shade and pressed it into place. When I got to the top of the shade where the brackets are, I had to cut a little slit in the fabric so it could fold over neatly on either side of the bracket. I turned my camera off a little too quickly, so I wasn't able to film that part, but I think you'd probably get the idea if you tried this project yourself. Here's a look at the last inexpensive Goodwill transformation that turned an unwanted, boring lamp into a highly desirable decor piece for my kitchen. All of these inexpensive Goodwill transformations were so much fun to do. I hope you love them as much as I do and are excited to take some unwanted items and turn them into highly desirable decor pieces for your home. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. To see even more Goodwill transformations, check out this video and make sure you head on over to my thrift channel, Schwowin Thrifts, to see where I find all of my treasures. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.